Hey guys. Check, check.
Check, check.
Sweet. We're good there. Starting a little early, so I might as well post stuff. You guys can enjoy the music in the meantime. Hello. How's everyone? How's everyone doing right now? Starting a couple minutes early. Just gonna get this posted up. Spread the word.
Please belittle me, Misha. I deserve it.
What we got here? All right. Got a subscriber. Tell me I'll never be able to please belittle me. I feel like I should get paid to do that, right? Nah, you can yeah, Redwater. We always put Redwater. It's royalty free music I made so I can have good background music for Twitch. Works like a charm, right? Yo, who here has watched the what we do in the shadows FX series? Anyone here? Because I love the movie, obviously. I feel like people either love that movie or just haven't seen it. And then when they were gonna make a series, I was like, oh god, like they're gonna ruin this, like, you know, because generally speaking, when you have like cult favorite series and they try to make a TV show, it just feels like a cash grab. But I'm gonna say I may actually even prefer the show to the movie. I don't know, I love it, and all I can think about is when Nandor's taking the citizenship test. Every time I see "Hey you guys," or he takes the citizenship test, and they're like, you know, what are the first 3 words of the Constitution? And he's like, "Hey you guys." It just kills me. Bat. Exactly. All right, let me bear with me for 1 second. Just gonna post this up in a couple more spots, and we'll get started.
Misha Yura, have you tried Ghost of Tsushima yet?
Oh, have I tried Ghost of Tsushima? So yes, I have. Please no spoilers. I'm like, I don't know how far I'm in. I'm not like super far, maybe like a third of the way. But I really love it. Really, God, that game looks incredible, right? It's like, how is this a PS4? I feel like we're on the cusp of like next gen technology, and I love this era of like consoles where it's like you're seeing what they really like. They've had like 5-6 years to really optimize the code and just extract every little bit out of it. And God, what a great looking game. I really enjoy it. I'll say like the story so far seems a little like generic-ish, you know, and the voice acting and acting in general is not like top notch, but it's not bad. It doesn't detract from the game at all. Besides, you know, the combat and the mechanics are the best part, and the visuals. Jesus, you guys enjoying it? Oh yeah, new headphones. That's right. So I told Sennheiser I'd been, you know, using these HD800s religiously since I got them. These have been like my studio workhorses forever, and they sent me these ones to check out. And I'll probably do a review of them at some point, or at least like post about them. I'm really liking these. These are open. These are closed back, and these headphones have a lot more low end. The one thing about this, okay, there's two things about these. These have like the widest sound stage that I've ever heard on any headset, but they are very lacking in the low end, and they have this weird top end. So they came out with the HD800S, which fixed the top end a little bit, and I think gave a little bit more low end, but still heard like it was kind of, you know, it was just like a slightly better version of this, but I stuck with this. I use SonarWorks to correct it, so it does fix that somewhat. This I'm not using SonarWorks with, or I'm blending. They don't have a profile for it right now. I'm trying something out, but honestly, even without it, it's a lot more closer to neutral. It doesn't have as wide a soundstage, but there's so much more low end because they're closed back design. So I'm trying these ones out, seeing how I get along with them, and I got permission from Sennheiser to send these out to SonarWorks to actually shoot. So after this, I'll send them out, and I'll have a profile for them, and then they'll be perfectly flat. It'll be kind of interesting to compare the two. Maybe I'll do that on Livestream. Not that you guys will be able to hear, but maybe I could just comment on it real time, sort of see what you guys think. Very expensive headphones, but honestly, you get what you pay for with this kind of stuff. And with this being my job and me doing so much studio stuff, it's like, you know, just get the good stuff and get it over with, right? And speaking of getting good stuff, you can get 33% off the whole Get Good Drum store right now. So we're doing that. We're gonna be focusing on One Kit Wonder today. But yeah, since you're asking about the headphones, trying these out, liking them a lot so far. Video looks great. You're going to go for the A7S III. So I'm on an A7 III right now. I'm 100% going to go for an A7S III. And it'll be good to have like a second camera that's the same format, whatever. I can share lenses. You know, I can just get two angles if I want to. Maybe two angles on stream or whatever. So yeah, that should work out pretty well. Here, sorry, I'm still posting. I'm just getting distracted. All right, yeah, and if in case you guys were wondering, these are the Sennheiser HD820s. So yeah, someone was asking. What lens is on the A7 III? It's the Tamron lens. I was gonna go for the G Master. It's, you know, a $2,200 lens, which I don't mind, it's more than the body of the camera. But I don't mind spending money on good glass because it'll last forever. You know, you never need to swap it out. Then someone told me to go for the Tamron, and when I did the research, it seemed like it performed almost as well, if not as well. It's actually owned by Sony. It costs a third of the price. It was like $7.99 or something like that. But they were like permanently out of stock. You could get G Masters forever. Everyone wanted the Tamron because it's effectively as good a lens, unless you're outside or something. I think the weather sealing's better on the G Master. I figured I'd just save the money, and I'm loving it so far. It's a fantastic lens. Looks absolutely great. So it's their 24-70. Which is just a workhorse. I mean, like 90, you could get like 90 to 95% of your shots on 24-70, and if it's good, it'll look great, you know. You don't need to have a prime lens for all the focal lengths you'll tend to use, so I'm a big fan of it. I recommend it. Not endorsed by them, but, you know, it's a good setup. Not disappointed at all. Oh yeah, and the documentaries. I haven't even had a chance to post about the documentary. Who here has seen the tour documentary so far? Oh yeah, and that soundbar. So yeah, full disclosure, Sennheiser sent it to me. It's good to have friends at companies like that. I had been looking at that because a bunch of people were like, hey man, like, you know, if you're gonna go for a soundbar, just go big or go home. So it's definitely not the cheapest soundbar. but it was looking really interesting. And I'd always wondered if like companies would start doing the room correction stuff. Like I was wondering, you know, because obviously I'm using it in the studio, and it works magic. Not just for the EQ, but the big thing that a lot of people don't realize is it works magic on the phase, right? So what effectively will happen is you'll get a wide stereo field, and then what I think they're doing with the Ambio stuff is they're basically using the reflections strategically to create a surround sound thing with a front-facing bar, and it's accounting for your room dimensions and whatever. So it's really cool technology. It is not ideally placed right now because I just don't have space, but my brother's coming. He's gonna help me mount up the TV on the wall, and then I'll be able to have like the perfect placement for it, where the top firing and side firing speakers will be able to do their job, and that will sound absolutely fantastic. I'll update once I have that going as well. Technology is kind of sick. So I always back stuff that's just pushing the envelope with technology, and so far I'm really loving that soundbar. The LG TV I got, I don't know if there's something wrong with the speakers or if that's just how they sound, but that should give you an impression. If everything's fine with that TV, that should give you an impression of how bad the speakers are on there. They're pretty horrendous. It's like kind of the worst speakers I've ever had on a TV. Maybe it's because the panel's so thin, I don't know. But it's the first time I've been like, yeah, I need a sound bar. I need something to actually recreate some semblance of good sound. And we were watching, what were we watching yesterday? I forgot what we were watching. Oh, the Umbrella Academy. That's right. Yeah, soundbars are sick, man. Soundbars are awesome. So I'm a big fan of that one. Don't know what you guys are using, but feel free to drop them in the comments. Love the nod to the Silver Spring show in the doc. Should have included the little impromptu jam with that. You know, we could have, or it's just a little special thing for you guys. Shall we start this? Shall we start the damn thing? Can we get going? Who here is from Discord? We should post the link to Discord as well. You guys should join our Discord. We're up on there. I'm up on there a lot. There we go. So the Discord link, yeah, join our Discord at that link, please. It's fun. It's nice to have like a community. Every now and then I'll jump in on the voice chat as well. See ways to integrate it with the streams. But what do you say we get started on One Kit Wonder? Who knows about this? We just put this out. We've been working on this for a while. I've been working on these demos for a while. It's always a very frustrating period when you're like working on something and you can't tell anyone about it, you know? So now we can finally talk about it. I've been really stoked on this kit, and a lot of people have been asking us for a while, like, you know, if we would make a kit that's a bit more straightforward, where it's aimed less at people who want to engineer and program even necessarily. It's more for people who just want to get in and start writing. So of course in GGD fashion we did it to where you still can mix this as you would a regular kit. I'll show you some examples of both, but the first two demos I'm going to show you, and I really hope that Cubase actually loads these projects while I'm on stream instead of crashing. It hasn't been the most stable program recently, but yeah. Here, let's take a look at what we were looking at here. I want to see this transition on. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if it's better than Matt Halpern signature. So it's very different. The Halpern kit is kind of a traditional GGD kit and kind of a bread and butter kit in the sense that it kind of covers the ground that we would use, obviously, and it's meant to be mixed. It's meant to be sort of tweaked with and whatever. So. For one, let's pause that. I think that gets rid of the music, right? No more music, right? So this is a thing that I did. Oops. Let's open the MIDI so you guys can see. This I did program, you know. So there's One Kit Wonder. And it's just one kit. This is our Modern Fusion kit. We figured it would be a good place to start, is like with something that you'd expect. You have a very basic mixer here. If you want to go more in depth, you have these balance things. But we wanted to keep it to, like, at its core, it's very, very simple. It's got a groove player. And and you know, we can look into that for this other project that I have ready to go. But otherwise, it's just meant to be for writing, and we have a parallel and master EQ built in. So without it, sounds like that, and then with it, it's kind of ready to go. And this is what the demo I did sounds like. Had it loop for fun, but yeah, that's it. And like the cool thing about this is that this is just in stereo mode, so literally you just get this go. I made this preset called clean fusion process, so that means it has a parallel in the master EQ. This is just going I've got nothing there, that's off, so it just got, yeah, just EQ. There's not even compression on this. I guess I'm just using the drum compression. So yeah, I was kind of trying to prove a point. I'm just using the Steinberg, the built-in limiter, and I'm using Fab Filter just because I like the EQ. So that's it. That's all that's on the drums. So, you know, good to go. One kit wonder, right? So is there no way to access the raw sound? So actually, I mean, if you just turn the processing off, these are the raw sounds. And then you can, you know, mix things however you want. You can change the balance of different things in the different mics. But that's more advanced stuff. If you really don't know anything, just pick a preset. You're ready to go. We have, you know, it's compatible with the groove kits. We had Chris Allison do a bunch of grooves for us. So this might be half the tempo. It's fine saying that's actually at the right tempo for where we're at. There we go. Actually, this might not work because I've got my own map going on for this because I program with a different map than the default one. So, but I have another project that I actually wrote to the grooves with, so I can show you in that one. But the idea with this kit is really just to make it as simple. You just install it, and then you can, if you don't even want to program, just get the Groove Pack. The Modern Fusion Groove Pack works absolutely seamlessly with this. And you can just get straight to writing, you know? You don't need to know anything about mixing. As you can see, my master bus here, I've just got an EQ. That's it. And I've got a limiter, because you got to have a limiter. Should have a little EQ. Just bump up top band, bump up 100. You know, we're gonna do a little high pass there, around 26, which really is pretty, it's pretty liberal there, right there. We could probably tighten that up a bit, but it sounds fine. And a little dip at 500, just scoop the mids a little, right? So that's that demo there. So any questions, and then we'll move on. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, is that Matt's VK snare? So because it's not listed, I don't know offhand. I'm gonna guess that this is the Pearl reference brass. It sounds like a Pearl reference brass, and that is also what it looks like in the picture. So I'm gonna guess that that's what it is. Again, you don't get choices of other toms or kits or whatever like that, or other pieces. It's just one kit. We're pricing it very aggressively. I think with the intro pricing, it's we have 33% off the whole store, no code needed, and that brings it to $39, I believe. So it is extremely affordable, and I think for the quality, this is the same level of detail and quality that we put into all our other kits. So it's really just more stripped down in philosophy and in approach, just for like beginners who don't want to spend time mixing, routing. Now you can do that, and I will show you a project where I have done that, and obviously it will sound better and a bit more unique. But if you're not too picky about that and you just want a good sounding kit that's ready to go, well, there you go. $39. Not too bad, huh? Is the snare his Gretsch one? Yeah, it could be. It could be the Gretsch bell brass. They're very similar snares, actually. They're like that snare is incredible. I don't know if they make it anymore. It's like Gretsch was making this bell brass snare for a while, and it kept going in price. It was like one of the most inexpensive bell brass snares that you could get, and it's such a good snare. But the Pearl reference brass is too, which is why we have it on every kit. This is a series. What other kits? Cam SD. So I don't think you finished that sentence correctly, but I'm guessing you're asking what other kits are coming. I can't tell you just yet, but they will cover a lot of range. The idea is to have this be its own sort of. So we'll have our regular kits, which are very in depth, and more for the engineering types of people who want to go in depth, and then the One Kit Wonder series will be for people who just want to start writing. Set and forget. I do this for writing music. Have I ever put something hard for Matt to play? I mean, yeah, but I also know what he can do, and I also know what he likes to do and dislikes. So I try to cater to him. And luckily, I think him and I are very much on the same page about what sounds good. So we very rarely will like argue about stuff. And if ever there's anything, he'll either see it as a challenge, or we'll try to rework it to where it'll be something realistic for him to play. But he's definitely been very open to stuff. He used to hate blast beats, and I think he still does, but he's open to playing them in the right context. He's always like, well, if it adds something or if it brings something to the part, then he'll do it. But he just doesn't want, I think, anything to be gratuitous, and it can be easy to go a bit gratuitous with blast beats. And I don't think blast beats are a very satisfying thing to play for most drummers. Definitely not like the more groove-oriented drummers like Matt. So, I work with him, he works with us. It's a fairly easy setup that we've got going. We don't really put much thought into it anymore. Just kind of works, So let's see. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, Kayon, is that how you say? I keep forgetting how to say your name. This kid's unbelievable. I'm waiting for this long. I've wanted this for so long because I'm a lazy POS. Well, I'm glad that you've got it. You're very talented. He's a talented guy. That I forget how to say his name. Open up the MIDI for this Plenty type track. I don't have the MIDI. I should just get it. So again, I think people are noticing the new headphones. These are the Sennheiser HD820s. I'm trying these out. I've been using the HD800s forever. I'm going to send these off to SonarWorks to create a profile because they don't have one yet, which will be great. It'll be even better for me. Normally they take like an average, which is what I've been using with that, but with this, they'll give me an exact profile for this. It should be perfect. But so far, I'm really liking these. They're very, very comfortable. They have most of the soundstage, not quite as much soundstage, but so much more low end. And just default, they sound a lot more flat than those do. So I think we're from a much closer to flat starting point. So I imagine these things are going to be incredible once I have a profile for them. I'm going to send them out like shortly after we finish this. Keon, so it's Keon, like Keanu Reeves without the U. But I thought I heard him say Keon, whatever, Keanu. Unless wherever he's from, they say Keanu Reeves, and then that doesn't help me, does it? You're doing a fashion album. What's a fashion album? It's the HD820 for the Sennheisers. How long does Sonar Work takes to send your cans back? I don't know. So I'll report back. I'd imagine. Where are they based out of again? Latvia, Lithuania, I forget, but it's one of those L countries. but I think it's going via DHL, be AirPost. So hopefully not more than like a week or two. And because I have the HD800s, the reason I never sent those out is because I just didn't want to be without them. I use those so religiously that like I just didn't want to be without them for a couple weeks. But now I can just use those and send these out, get them profiled, and then see which one I like better. And then maybe like when I get these back, I can send those ones out to get a profile specifically for those, which will make it even better. Anyone can do that, by the way. So that's kind of cool. Start the plugin. Okay, let's. Someone wants to hear it from the start? Sure. Then I can just talk over it. You guys like the demo? I was definitely going for like Persona 5 vibes, you know? Yeah. Cause I knew we were going for a fusion thing, and I knew that like we were getting plenty involved. And I'm like, all right, let's go like actual fusion-y. And I was like, I like Persona 5. No swappable shells or cymbals. It's one very simple kit. I also did a heavy demo. I used more plugins on that one. You guys want to hear the heavy demo? This is not how it sounds when you load it up. If you just load it up, and all right, let's just take everything off. It's literally just the ones built into the plugin. I've got a master, EQ, and limiter. I don't even have a compressor. So these are the raw sounds, and this is how I would run it if I was doing multi-out. Right now, we're just doing stereo. So we're not routing, we're not bothering with any of that stuff. If I was going to multi-out, I would take the stuff off. But this is sort of meant if you're like, I just want to go, then. Sorry. And then just adding the EQ here, I always have an EQ that looks like that on my master bus. And then you gotta have a limiter so you don't clip. It's as simple as that. Disabled everything else. So this is like one of the simplest mixes I've got going. You guys want to hear a slightly more involved mix and a heavier mix with an 8 string? Press 1 if you want to hear that. Press 2 if you want me to end the stream right now and delete my Twitch. There we go. We got some 2s in there. 1, but also 2. Very good. Okay, sweet. Yeah. All right, let's hope this loads. Fingers crossed. Please don't crash. So this one is also stereo out. I think I have some more plugins on this one, but it was just to show it in a heavy context without all my mixing magic, just relying on the kit itself. Yeah, this is an old demo. Some of you guys might recognize this. It's actually on the Bulb archives. But I tweaked it a bit. That's right. We're using. Gonna give some props to Submission Audio. What do we have here? Something that's still left to right, but whatever. Yeah, we're using Gin Bass, which I highly recommend, especially if you want to tune low, because I think we are in F sharp. And I'm using a combination of their different channels, I guess. The clean channel and their lightly driven channel. And it sounds really good. And now on One Kit Wonder, I believe we have a couple more plugins. Yeah. So here we're using Smash and Grab. And just using it in parallel mode. Got a little bit of EQ going, but we're still in stereo mode on this. Now, what you'll find is, of course, with the heavier stuff, you need the drums. It's always a lot more mixing to get the drums to punch through. And then, what do we have on the master bus? Now we have all the stuff up on the master bus. Oh, hockey playoffs. That is the one and only reason I'm going to end the stream. To watch the Caps lose another game. Yeah. So on an 8-string, we actually, it's like the only time that we're using standard tuning, because it's F sharp B E A D G B E, and we have this Horizon Devices string set that's perfect for it. The 10.5 to 74, is that what it is, or 9.5 to 74? Forget the gauges offhand, but whatever my set is, that's what we spent way too much time working on that. I'm all confused on the exact gauges. 9.5 to 74. But that feels great for that standard tuning. Yeah. Go Avs. Yeah, got no beef. Man, the Caps are I think we were missing missing Backstrom, and who else was missing? There's a couple people missing from the last game. Man, oh, Eller's back. Oh, thank God. Yeah, man, Backstrom being out sucks. Like, that dude is. First of all, I think he's one of the most underrated players. Not that people don't love him, but I don't think people realize just what a force of nature he is on our team, and just how much of Ovi's greatness comes from, you know, the tag team from Backstrom. He's always been like one of my absolute favorite players in the NHL, and like not having him is just, you see the rhythm is gone. Like, our offense is just pitiful, and that dude had like some of the best hockey IQ and like playmaking that I've ever seen. So it's like without him, man, I don't know when he's supposed to be back. Oh, what's up? We got a raid from Jay. All right, you know what? Well, let's play some genty stuff. What's up, Jay? Thanks. Jay, we got a new kit. Look at this. Miss you too, pal. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's a good question. Periperact when? I mean, I would have said sooner than later. Now it's more of a question of like touring in general when. What are you thinking, Jay? When are you going to be back out on tour? Wait, are they really nerfing party modes in F1, or is that just talk? Yeah, I mean, everyone's got dates, but like, I don't know, man. Unless something happens, unless there's like a vaccine or some like massive change to something, I see those dates probably getting canceled too, you know? Like, I think everyone's just putting dates out just, you know, in good faith, but like, or like people who had tours don't want to cancel, so they want to see if they can postpone. But yeah, that's it really, a Peripherak tour, I think Jay and I have agreed needs to happen, and I'm sure you guys would like it. Press 1 if you'd like a Peripherak tour. Press 2 if you suck. And it's really just down to when touring will happen in general. Oh, there's a lot of people who suck. Well, you know what? You can go from a 2 to a 1. You just gotta believe. Am I right? Turn that 2 into a 1. That's what I always say. 12. Don't know what that means. But I guess it means that you want to see that tour and you suck. Which, you know, I guess I'd be a 12 because I want to see that tour happen, but I suck. So I'm a 12. I don't feel bad. Kiss on the Lips tour. Yeah. I mean, you know, we'll see. I've seen people get creative with this stuff. Like, I think I saw a picture of like, I don't know if it was a festival or whatever. They had like little sort of like stages and compartments. Obviously, like you get a 1/10 of your capacity at that point. So for a Periphery show, that would mean like maybe 50 people in a room. But I guess it's better than nothing. I don't know. And it would be weird to have a show. I've been thinking about that with sports. Like, man, hockey, F1 without fans is like not that big a deal, to be honest. I don't really notice the difference. Hockey without fans is weird. It is so weird to not have the fans rallying. You can feel that when you're at a game. It's like electric. Like you feel like that energy, like rallying the team, right? And then like for penalties and stuff like that, man. Like I swear to God, sometimes like the refs almost like have a late reaction because they're like, oh, the crowd saw something, I better call it, you know? So it's kind of weird. And like shows, I feel like it would be the weirdest of all of those, where it's like so much of my enjoyment of a show is derived from interacting with the energy with the audience and feeding off of that. I'm sure Jay can agree with that too, you know, or anyone here who's played live shows. Like that would just be weird. It'd be like just like practice if we were playing in front of like a small group of people or like a clinic, and those just have completely different vibes. I guess maybe there'd be creative ways to spruce it up. I don't know. This is definitely a moment in time for invention. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, that tour's gotta happen. Hey, I'm not trying to keep you, Jay, if you gotta go. But we're gonna keep talking about drums. We put out this new drum library, the Modern Fusion Kit, the One Kit Wonder Modern Fusion Kit, which I'm pretty damn stoked with. So yeah, this was the heavier demo, and then I've got, you guys want to see this one is one I don't think you guys have heard. We're gonna put this out as a songwriting thing where you see me write to the MIDI. Obviously, I did this a while ago. So let's hope this one opens. And this one is one where I've actually mixed it sort of properly and stereo out like my more traditional setup, but I am using MIDI grooves from the Chris Allison MIDI pack, which if that's not out yet, will be out soon. So I may be spoiling something. Sorry, guys. I love the energy at the Austin show this past February. So yeah, like that show went off. And Austin goes off, and it's, you know, there's certain cities that like have more energy than others. Sorry, that's just the truth, you know. And like, man, Texas brings it. Texas always brings the heat. Like Dallas and Austin especially. Like Houston's good too. Like Yeah, this always had great shows. Like we used to play like the White Rabbit in San Antonio. You remember that venue? I don't even know if it probably shouldn't be a venue. It's a hellhole, man. And like there's no ventilation. It's like always the hottest show of the whole tour. Oh, is it gone? Yeah, not surprised. They always had pretty good pizza there. But like, yeah, that place was always like, there's that one place on the tour where we'd go there, like, because as we became bigger, we're like, man, we still haven't outgrown this place yet, huh? That's wild. You know, it'd usually be the smallest venue. It's definitely the dingiest and diviest. And like, I don't care, but I do care to a practical level. Like, it was the hottest show. I'm sure it was 10 times worse for the audience, but on stage, it was just sweat from beginning to end. So it's brutal, but it always felt kind of cool too, because the crowd was nuts there. It was always just a really raw show. So it was one of those ones that you go into being like, oh boy, here we go. And then by the end of the set, you're like, damn, that was sick, you know? That wasn't even as bad as some of the other San Antonio venues. No, I can imagine. There's that one that was like, there's the place that we also play now instead of the White Rabbit, which is also pretty rough. But yeah, anyways. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Oh, okay. Anyone wants to buy a USA Invective? I think a lot of people want to buy a USA Invective, so you'll probably find a buyer. Go put it up on Reverb or something. Okay, so this kit here, this is multi-out. Now, and it's even labeled GGD P4. So just like worked off an older P4 template. But these are the grooves I used in this. So we can look at the groove player a little bit. Might be spoiling some stuff, but whatever. Some pretty wild grooves in here, like this one's wild. No, song 14 groove 9, there we go. Dude, Chris Allison, first of all, it's him. But he's such a sick drummer, and he's got some creative grooves. I go over this stuff in a video that's coming out soon, so we'll focus on that stuff then. But this is now multi-out, you know? We have this routed through everything. This is more traditional. I kept that stuff off because I'm editing everything as normal. But you guys want to hear this song? What do you say? 69 if you want to hear this song. 3,786 if you don't. Chris Allison plays a lot with Pliny. He's this Australian drummer. He's a session guy, but he's pretty much always... I think Troy Wright's the only other drummer that's toured with Pliny, but if you've seen Pliny recently, you've seen Chris Allison. Really, he's one of my favorite drummers to watch. Just an absolute master of time, but like insane feel. So really stoked that we got him to do a pack, and he really delivered. Oh, look at that. 37869. Oh, all right, sick. Yeah, it's a sex number. You guys get it? 69. Okay. Oh yeah, Mike Mallion's toured with Pliny. So Pliny's just basically always had the best drummers in the world. He is very, very spoiled. All right, so this is what I got for this one. Yeah, high five, bro. So his groove pack has this whole like 11/8 section, so I was like, I'm gonna mess with that, and I just wrote to these grooves, and it was just super inspiring. Yeah, I definitely abuse octavers and I don't care. Modern fusion. Ronnie, you were only in the documentary for 7 seconds. I'd say you have to fight with Randy Edwards because he edited that shit. And we should get him to film that fight. And then show you for 7 seconds in that fight as well. I don't know, man. How would you make a guitar sound like bass? If you don't own a bass yet, just buy Submission Audio, either Eurobass or Gin Bass, and program it. Honestly, that's your best bet. Otherwise, you could just take a clean guitar and bring it down an octave. I mean, that worked for the Animals as Leaders' first album. I mean, worked. It didn't work. It didn't work at all, did it? But yeah. I should write a Car Bomb song with Modern Fusion. I couldn't write a Car Bomb song with any kit, so I don't think Modern Fusion's going to help me out at all there. Explain my process of layering GGD drums. I could do that on a different live stream, but this is a bad example because the only kit I'm using right now is the One Kit Wonder. So that's it, you know? Right here. We'll let this play and I'll answer some of your questions. What you guys got? Man, I don't know if I could keep up with Greg. I don't know if I had anything to offer. I'll just let him work. Because Ronnie, you're saying I should collab with him. It's like, I would just sit there and watch him work and be like, teach me how to make laser sounds, you know? And I'd be like, yes, everything you're doing is good, and I have nothing to contribute. But I'd love to sit in on that, you know? By the way, everyone say hi to RJ Divine, aka Ronnie Young. He did sound for us on the last bunch of tours. He's an incredible fella, very talented. He's one of my favorite people. He's a real sweetheart. He's a very talented individual. He has a band. What's the band? Is it Orphic? They just came out with or you put out the album? It's coming out soon. Plug your album, Ronnie. He's a very, very talented dude. He's one of my favorite people. And if you like the way we sound live on the last few tours, it's his fault. He also mixed the live version of Follow Your Ghost that we put out, and I thought he did a really fantastic job with that. Any recommendation for good headphones under $500? I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit of a Sennheiser whore when it comes to this stuff. Which one did they have? The 600, 650s? Whatever the Sennheiser ones are for mixing. I used to have those. I think I sell them to Jake? Those ones I bought, so I just resold them when I got the better ones. But they were really good. They were really good. With Sonar Works, they were almost as good as the 800s. So 650. Yep, it was a 650. That's the one. HD 650. So under 500. I think I paid like $300 for them. They might have been on sale on Amazon, which is why I picked them up. But yeah, keep an eye on Amazon for like a good deal on them. What's been the hardest riff to learn from Jake or Mark? So Mark's riffs are interesting because they look hard and they're all over the place, but they're actually not that difficult especially once you understand like how he uses open strings and his moves, you know, his moves he tends to do. Jake's riffs tend to be hard because they're more like the way I approach it, where it seems to be very compositional, or his moves are just very. I think Mark's moves and my moves are a lot more similar than what Jake has. A very alien way of playing guitar, and so he'll come up with these really clever riffs that are just pain. Like there's a clean riff in Reptile can be a bit of a pain to get right. Like it's easy to mess it up, and it's a simple sounding riff. You know, it's that break halfway through a song. Like that one I mess up a lot. It's just he has a few riffs that are just they're a bit difficult. The first riff in Flatlands, like it's an awesome riff, but it's a tricky one. It can catch you off guard if you're not paying attention. Who wrote Blood Eagle? Well, I mean, we all wrote Blood Eagle. I think we all have riffs in that song, right? Which riff? Opinions on using invasion hits on maximum velocity. So I'd say, generally speaking, when we are capturing, this is maybe just a GGD thing, but when we're capturing our hits, those final hits are like head-destroyingly hard. We actually like save them for last because we pretty much have to replace the head after we've captured everything that we need. They're dented, they're done. So it's not really how drummers would hit. It's how you might hit for an accent or for effect or something like that. But like when you compare them to like the layer right below them, so if you're programming at 127 versus say like 100 to 110, you'll actually notice the tone of the drum, especially snares and kicks, like really opens up, you know? And those hits at 100 to 110 are like still really hard hits, and probably in line with what you would assume a hard hitting drummer is hitting at. So that's where I would go. And then maybe for accents or for effect, if you just like the way it sounds, you know, do it. Obviously, there's no wrong way to do it. I just think it sounds more realistic and actually better to lower the velocities. It's good to have that headroom. But I think, you know, I always used to program 127 when I was using things like TuneTrack before because I just never felt like the hard hits were hard enough. So I think that's why we overcompensated on our end and we really went for it. But it's almost too hard, if that makes sense. Any ballpark date for P5? I mean, we haven't even started writing it. There's no. We wrote P4 in a way where we don't have a deadline or anything like that. And to be honest, that was a great experience. Any deadlines we set are really just for ourselves. They're arbitrary. We don't really have to answer to anyone anymore. And that made for a really good and sort of pure experience where it was just about writing and just about enjoying what we're putting together. And I really love P4 for that. So I think we're just going to try and recreate that experience. So it's more like when we're ready to write, we're going to start writing together and we'll just see what happens. But there's no real rush. Plus, with no touring, it's better to release an album out like when you have a tour or something to support it. We got kind of lucky because, you know, we weren't at the end of the P4 touring cycle, but we were probably like 2/3 of the way through. And, you know, it was okay to just kind of cut it there. So once touring starts, then, you know, or once it looks like it's starting, then we'll probably have like much more of a reason to put something out. Because right now, even if we worked on something, it might not make a ton of sense to put out new, like a new album, especially. Maybe we could put a single or something together, but you know, outside of that, I just don't know how much it makes sense, you know? Do I have a guilty pleasure song to play on guitar? No, because I don't believe in guilty pleasures. Either you like something or you don't like something, you know? Do you guys agree with that or disagree? What, do you think there's a reason to have a guilty pleasure? Who wrote that part in Reptile featuring Mikey? Whose idea was it to get Mikey to do the spoken part? Being wondering. I can't tell, Ronnie, if you're being a troll right now, because Ronnie is the best at trolling. Like my Facebook. You've probably seen his posts. You'll know if you've seen a Ronnie post. And if you're serious, answer that. But I can't tell. You're riding the line very finely right there. Let me see what else got here. Anime is your guilty pleasure. I'm not proud of the fact that I enjoy some anime. That's pretty good. I mean, maybe there are guilty pleasures in general, but when it comes to music, I have no shame about what I like. I just like what I like. I can't think of anything. Like, I like some anime too. I'm not a weeb about it. I probably was before, but I'm not anymore. But like, I'm not ashamed. I don't think you should be ashamed of what you like. It's just what you like. Don't kink shame. Guilty pleasures implies that you're hiding the fact you like it because of external pressures. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, okay, not trolling. All right. So that part, I think Spencer was just like, it would be really cool to have a spoken word thing. And I think actually when he suggested that, he had already hit Mikey up and Mikey had already said yes. So he's like, yeah, I have like an idea. Like I'm gonna have like Mikey just do a spoken word thing over that. And we're all like, really? That's really cool. You think he'll do it? And he did it. And we're like, okay, that's great. He actually sent a much longer thing. Like Spencer had him say a bunch of stuff, and we actually cut it to sort of fit the tempo and the music, all that a bit better. And we cut some lines out so that would make it would be a bit more concise and flow. So he actually sent us a lot more stuff. So what ended up there is sort of what we cut up, but I really like it. I'm so stoked. That was like this like inkling of an idea that almost seemed like it came from Spencer as like yeah, what if? And we're like, all right. I mean, worst case, we'll just either leave it empty and vibe out, or we'll write something over it. But I remember when Spencer and I were writing for Reptile, he's like, yeah, I have an idea for this part, so we don't need to write anything for this. It just kind of came together, and you know, sometimes those ideas like come together in a way where it's just like even better than you expected. Just did the flatline intro riff as a video lesson for Riff of the Week series. Oh, awesome. Thanks for that, man. Appreciate it. Kink shaming is my kink. Yeah, that's now we're in the paradox. This is when I did my OKW playthrough. The velocity is a little more sensitive. I usually randomize my velocities 150, 120 for hard playing. With obviously higher for impact, lower for field, but my lower range was even lower with OKW, so we should fire Joe. All right, dude, you can hit the drums. Yeah, we had our very own Joe Hamilton, secret brother of Lewis Hamilton. Not many people know that, and related to Alexander Hamilton of Hamilton fame. He's actually the one who hit the drums on this. It was originally going to be Matt, obviously, but this was getting shot right as the COVID stuff started making flying a really sketchy proposition. And it was like literally like a couple days before he was going to take the flight. We just had to rework everything. So Joe came in for the quick assist and the rescue. He did a fantastic job. I think he did a great job. Obviously Ronnie disagrees, but I think he just wants Joe's job. So that's why. Yeah. No, no way. Yeah, no, he's not actually related to either of the Hamiltons. I just like to think that he is. Got I'll just start calling him Lewis from now on and just see what happens. Yeah, no, he did do an amazing job. I know you're just playing. I know. We all joke around here. Anyways, I did miss a big I'm sorry. Turd Nugs with a big donut. Man, look at that. With 60, he keeps donating sex number money to me, and I can't hate. Normally, I feel bad for like such large donations, but Turd Nugs, thank you very much. He says, I think you should name P5 Praise Jeebus or Gentleman. Anime is my guilty pleasure too. Oof. I can't tell which part. I can't tell where the sentiment starts and the album title ends. I can 100% guarantee you that we're not going to call it that or anything close to that, but I appreciate it, and I'm glad that anime is your guilty pleasure. But anime is not my guilty pleasure. I'm saying I like it. I'm not ashamed of liking it, and you shouldn't be ashamed of liking it either. Unless you really, really like it and it's kind of weird and creepy, in which case you should be ashamed and it should just be your guilty pleasure, So don't listen to anything I say. All right, we'll take a couple more questions, and then I'm going to go watch playoff hockey, and you guys can watch it with me. And when I say playoff hockey, I mean I'm going to watch the Caps, and I don't know, do whatever you have to do, rub your hands together or like knock on wood or something. Just make them not lose this game, please. Please, I just want them to win a game. I'm looking into getting a PRS guitar or Aristides A020. Because of the tone, like a good balance between distortion and clean stuff. Should I go for PRS Archon, XFX 2 or 3? There's so many questions here, and I don't think you know what you're asking for. You're fine with any of that stuff. All that stuff is fine. Everything you listed is fine. It's all in your hands at that point. If you have all that stuff, you'll be fine. Don't sweat it. Coffee for mishap. Pens are better than caps. I'm gonna ban you from everything I ever do, by the way. We're gonna block you. I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that your life is sadness from now on, if you really believe that the pens are better than the caps. Caps or pens? Oh, that's what I don't know if you say I'm Mario 4. But yes, I'm gonna make sure that everything good happens to you for the rest of your life. Predictions for qualifying. I have not watched practice. I normally watch practice. I've just had a really busy day today. But maybe I will watch practice while I watch. I'll be a total psychopath and watch practice while I watch the game, or at least in between the breaks. A lot to catch up on. What are your predictions? Anybody who's watched practice, don't spoil anything if anything big happened. But what are your predictions for qualifying tomorrow? Do we think Red Bull? All right, first of all, it's going to be interesting. It could be another high attrition race because, I mean, like, yeah, Catalunya is boring as a race, but it's supposed to be really hot. Mercedes sucks in the heat. Red Bull's really good in the heat. We're looking at another Red Bull win, a.k.a. a Max Verstappen win, because, you know, I love Albon and I want him to do well, but Max Verstappen win? Bro, what if we called the album Pen Island? We already called the demo Pen Island. I don't know. What should I call my solo album? I've been struggling for a name for my solo album. I don't know what to call it. I was very tempted to call it like Huge is on Me. Like, but I don't know. I probably shouldn't. Oh, there we go. We got Dono from Barrier. Donated 2, 3, 4, 5. I love these donation numbers. Thanks, man. You made a meme using Invasion P4 kits. You'd love if I watched it. I can watch it on my side computer, but not on my main computer. Karenthal. All right, you might have permission to post this in the thing, or maybe I can just post it. I'll do you a favor and post it. I can't really watch it because I don't have my volume on, but I will watch it as soon as I sign off. But here, this is his meme that he made. Get your money's worth, right? Hamilton on pole, Max, and really think. I guess over one lap the tire thing doesn't matter, does it? So yeah, the Mercedes are so dominant. But you think Max in second? That's and Max to win the race. I could see that. Wait, are we saying Group B as an album name? That's kind of sick. I don't hate that. I'm gonna write that down. And if that wasn't what you were suggesting, then that works out well. But this would be for the Bulb solo album. Even though I don't even care about Rally that much. That's the one thing I don't care about. No, we're not going to call it Breeze. You guys love Breeze, and I'm glad that you love Breeze, but if you guys didn't love that song that much, it wouldn't be on the solo album. I haven't even re-recorded it yet. I'm going to re-record it. That's going to be a favor for you guys. I mean, I like the song. I like it just fine, but you guys obviously love it, so might as well put it. So that video was good? Hey, good job, Barrier. People like your video. Yeah, no way. You know, this is so. Let's talk about F1 a little bit, and then I know I'm already over, but I'll go over my time to talk about F1. So someone's saying Max in second, qualifying. Like the thing about Bottas is he is not bad at qualifying. He's out-qualified Lewis, and even when he doesn't, it's not like Albon with Verstappen or like a lot of the number 2 drivers. Like, he's within tenths of a second. He's within a tenth of a second a lot of the times, or he's right up there, you know, when he loses. The margins are very small. So we know Bottas can race over a lap. What I don't see him doing is getting his elbows out. What I don't see him doing is really having race pace. Maybe he can't manage his tires as well. Maybe, you know, he's less lucky, but like after a certain point, you're like, Lewis, it can't just be luck. It must be that Lewis is doing something to where he's just got better pace. Like, how did that last win escape Bottas? Maybe partially strategy, but God, like, think about it if the roles were reversed. If Hamilton was in first and Bottas was on a different strategy, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, like, oh, Lewis better watch out. Lewis kind of did the impossible. I was like, man, there's no way he's going to win this. He's on a crazy strategy, and then it works. So there's something there, and I think over the race, that's where Max has got that X factor. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't have the car to be competitive over a single lap versus the insanely dominant Mercedes. Over the race, yeah, I could see Bottas losing to Max over a race, especially if they have the tire issues. Rally ended with Group B. See, I never just got into rally. I've started playing like dirt rally because my buddies Kevin and Enoch are like obsessed with rally, so I bought it for them, and I have warmed up to it, but it's just never been my thing. I know Group B is responsible for a lot of things like the F40, so can't hate. But P2 got taken off Apple Music. In which country? I'll look into it. Yeah, Red Bull's gonna be 5 to 8 tenths off, maybe even a second off. Like, they were a second off in or more at Silverstone, you know? So Rosberg said Lewis has his brake balance heavily towards the front, and he sometimes manages not to lock up. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. So the whole thing about Lewis is an extremely smooth driver. People don't realize, like, the things that he does, like, he can manage fuel. He can lift and coast better than anyone else. So he manages fuel. There were stories about, like, you know, how, like, back in the day when when they introduced no refueling and all that, like, he would always have more fuel in his car at the end of the race than his teammate. He's just great at lifting and managing his fuel. He's great at managing his tires, you know? And I'm not surprised about the braking thing, you know? A smooth driver and a guy who's got a real feel for everything will know how to, like, set the brake balance really high. Because if you set the brake balance up front, you'll stop faster, but you're also at way higher risk of lock up your wheels and completely ruining your race or lap or whatever. So come and drive your Ford Fiesta. I'd be very happy to. I love hot hatches. I make you want to get into racing the way I talk about it? Yeah, I mean, racing's fun, man. It's sick. It's one of the sickest things you could do. Something I'd like to do very much. I want to do lemons, right? Wouldn't that be sick? When Ham wins, always the race is boring. I mean, I disagree. I don't think the race is boring. I've been seeing a lot of this. You know, Mercedes winning, yeah, but look at how tight that midfield is. It's insane. And now we've got, like, both Red Bull and Ferrari in the mix, right? So that midfield is now more competitive than ever. Look at some of the qualifying times, right? Like, the difference between, like, say, 4th place and, like, 14th place will really not be that much of a spread anymore. So it's just very, very competitive, and we're getting a lot of good races. We're getting a lot of good scraps in that midfield. We're getting very unpredictable results. If you just ignore Mercedes, which is kind of easy to do because it's like there's so much action happening elsewhere, and usually during the race they're not showing us a whole lot of Mercedes unless something is happening, like their tires degrading and Max winning the race. So, you know. Recommendations for reamp box? I need some recommendations myself. I mean, I'm currently using the 2 notes reload. I'm not in reamp mode yet for this, but I will be soon. So for the solo album, I'll probably just use my 2 notes reload, just the reamp section of that. You know, it's not correlated, but you dig another stream on kit layering contact. I'd be very happy to do that for you guys. I've got, like, my solo project kit is a layer of the P4 kit, P4 invasion. I think I'm using mostly P4 shells, mostly invasion symbols, and layering the snare with the Halpern kit. And I'm really happy with how that's sounding. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll show you guys that. But what do you say we end the stream here for now? and I'll catch you guys soon. All right, sound good? Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll tell you what, before I leave, I'll just let this play one last time. So we end with some music.